Many of us are aware of the suicide epidemic in the United States today. It is estimated that every 13 minutes, someone kills themselves. That's 110 people every day, over 40,000 people every year. Suicide is the second leading cause of death for young adults ages 15 to 24. Overall, it's the 10th leading cause of death in the country and kills more people than murder, war, and natural disasters combined. Last year in the Navy alone, we lost 68 of our shipmates. According to statistics, for every death by suicide, there are 25 attempts. That means about 1,700 sailors attempted suicide last year. The numbers are shocking and tragic, but what can we do? As it turns out, you don't need to be a doctor, a counselor, or a scientist to save lives. You don't have to be a paramedic, a police officer, or a superhero. In reality, all of us have the power to make a difference in someone's life, just by doing one small act. If that sounds hard to believe, think about your own life. How has a bad day been turned around by one small act of kindness? Would you be willing to take the pledge to do one small act in turn?
Afternoon, I'm Chief Petty Officer Barclay. Remembering one small act of kindness. I remember a few years ago when in Okinawa I had about $750 worth of cash in a lockbox, and I just came from ATM or the bank or somewhere, and I left the lockbox on top of my car. I drove off, I got home, and realized what I did. I immediately panicked, thinking I gotta pay this money back. So I drove over to the police station, and to my surprise, somebody had turned the funds in and everything was there. All the money was there, nothing was missing. So I was like, wow, I mean, like I would never thought that somebody would have had, you know, that much integrity or kindness to return those funds to the police station. You know, that just kind of gives me hope.
Hi, I'm Senior Chief Marilyn Neal. I'm Suicide Prevention Coordinator here at ONI, and I'd like to tell you a quick story about something that happened to me that was a small act somebody else did for me that changed my day and possibly parts of my life. I was checking in to the building one morning, and the officer of the day said, "Oh, you're Senior Chief Neal." And I said, "Yes, I am." And they said, "I know who you are because people tell me that you're the smiling chief. And that's what you're doing." So I knew who you were, and it changed my day.
Hi, I'm LS2 Sledge. My story starts back in 2006 when I was a new check-in, brand new to the Navy, on board a carrier that was in dry dock, where we had to pay for our own food allowances, and I got my wallet stolen. I didn't have any money to eat for about a day and a half. I received a Christmas card / birthday card from one of my Sunday school teachers back home, and I received $25 in that card. Come to find out, she did not know I needed that money, and she just felt compelled to insert that money into the card. That lesson there, I was able to eat, but it saved me and showed me that there was compassion anywhere, as well as there's always someone watching out for you.
Hi, my name is YN1 Wright. I wanted to share a small story, some exceptional kindness that was awarded to me by a dear friend that I don't even remember the gentleman's name. I do remember his kindness. I had an art project that I was working on for a customer, and the customer was slated to pick it up from my home late in the evening and was unable to do so. This gentleman stopped through on another project I was working on for him, and I was able to give him his project. As I'm standing there stressing about how am I going to get this artwork to this other customer, he pipes up, "No worries, let's get in my car, I'll take you. It's 45 miles away, but we'll be okay and we'll get it done." And that is one of the most impactful acts of kindness that I've experienced to date.
Hello, I'm MA2 Rhodes. As a volunteer fireman, it's always hard your first couple of months. So we were all having a hard time as a group that we volunteered in 2012. One of the mentors that I have to this day was revered as one of the old salts at the station that nobody could get along with. And it's really hard for people to, you know, men of men at the fire department to do that kind of stuff, and it meant a lot to me. So it feels good to be able to have friends like that in life, because otherwise he would never have been able to, you know, realize her true potential, because he took it upon himself.
Hi, I'm MA2 Jessica Smedley, and I'm one of ONI Suicide Prevention Coordinators. In June 2012, I lost my dad to suicide. About 3 months after he passed, I went to boot camp, and I was obviously really stressed out. I was under a lot of pressure as it was with the training, but I also compounded that with the grief that I was experiencing after my dad's suicide. There was one particular evening where in our female compartment, which we shared with another division, the other girls were hosting a prayer circle. But I was sitting in my rack after lights out watching them in their prayer circle, and I wanted so badly to have that kind of support too. I actually ended up standing up and walking over to them, and the small act of kindness that they gave to me was, despite the fact that they had pretty much been our staunch enemies the entire time we were in boot camp, they opened up their prayer circle and they held my hands. And when they asked what they could say a prayer for, I broke down and started crying and said that I was desperate for friends and family and for support to help me through my grieving process. And right there in the middle of the red lights, they all held my hands and said a prayer for me. And that humbling and really beautiful experience was such an immense gesture for me. And that's something that I want to be able to pass on to other people too.